Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcome to the post-fight show with Stormybman and my co-host, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, as we have a special edition of the post-fight. We're only doing one fight this evening, and that was the miraculous match that just took place moments ago between Zepeda and Baranchyk on ESPN+. This fight right here bears its own conversation, I tell you, man. It is now forever in the annals of boxing history, along with other great matches. And, you know, we're going to talk about it this evening. So let me welcome my brother, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, in here with me. What's going on, Reggie? How you doing, bro?
Doing good. My voice is gone. No, I'm just playing. But man, that was an exciting fight, man. They had me out my damn. I had to run off the couch, man. I was so excited by this damn fight. I didn't think it was going to turn out this good. Turned out to be a good goddamn slugfest, man.
Listen, man. I heard your call. You know, I was listening in with you, and it's like, first of all, let's just cut to the chase of my comments on this fight prior to today, you know, leading up to this evening's events. And I had said this was a TV fight. You know, I said it on the Friday Night Chop session. I said this is the kind of fight that, you know, we used to see back in the day all the time, but that's on paper. It actually lived and went beyond that. And my man Kurt Sugar also had spoken with me behind the scenes about this fight. And I know when Kurt says, hey, this is a great TV fight right here, you know, you need to listen to what he's saying. So I tuned in particularly. And I wasn't going to do a post-fight show on this evening's ESPN card, nor the FS1 card, because again, our attentions were divided with these shows overlapping and everything. But I knew I was going to tune into this fight in particular, and I had said to Kurt in the conversation earlier, and I said it in your chat, Reggie, during the show, I'm not doing a post fight unless this happens to be something spectacular. And man, was it ever that. So let's just go right on into it, Reggie, and I'll let you, you know, open things up with the conversation on it, because you just called the fight. You were really heated and excited by the action. My broadcast of it was maybe about 25 seconds before you. So I had a little bit of jump on what was happening. So when you saw me writing damn in your chat, it was like for what was to come. That's why I didn't say anything beyond that. But you notice I wrote damn like several times. So why don't you go ahead and start opening up with what your thoughts were on this now historical match that took place this evening.
Man, I was wondering, coming out the gate, man, that dude Ivan came right at this dude, just looking to get this dude finished here in the first round. And he came very aggressive, very strong, and it looked like he just came to press, seeing if just to test out what Jose Zepeda would come with. So Jose remained calm. I'm looking at at the way he composed himself. He didn't give a look of nervousness. He didn't look scared at the moment. He was just still with his look trying to figure this guy out, but knowing he needs to try to protect himself. Baranchyk is very strong, aggressive, power punching type dude. And he ended up dropping this dude. He dropped Zepeda twice in that first round, put him on his pockets. He was hitting Zepeda with some clean shots. I think one shot was more of him, you know, kind of bulldozing his way forward, catching him on the back of the neck with the forearm, the weight knocking him off balance. But the first shot was kind of a clean shot. I didn't even realize it hit him like that. But this guy came swinging out the gates, and I was like, man, this is about to be a brutal fight for Zepeda is what I was thinking. But then in my mind, I'm also thinking that sometimes these aggressive fighters become very easy to catch with something, and that's what started to happen for Zepeda. Is he remained composed, man. He remained relaxed. I always call that to me, I always call it the Vince Young composure, man. I never seen nobody as composed and kind of a tough, dire, kind of a time ticking situation, and that's what Zepeda remind me of. He stayed relaxed, wasn't too worried about this guy coming out there over pursuing. He caught the rhythm. He started to slow things down, get his shots off, and measure his shots. And he ended up catching this guy, man. And that one shot, I don't know if it should have been a knockdown, but it was cool that Bayless didn't call it. But I know when Ivan coming out here aggressive, swinging one of these big hooks, missed that Zepeda was able to get up under, and Zepeda now towards his back comes around to the front of him and clips him on the chin and drop him. Kenny thought it was a trip based on where it came from, but still in that same round, he was able to come and drop. Matter of fact, when that knockdown didn't happen, I think Ivan ends up knocking down Zepeda again. Then Zepeda comes back and knocks him down. This is in the second round. I said, man, what the hell is going on, man? So we got 4 knockdowns inside of 2 damn rounds. Then we come into round number 3. He ended up, matter of fact, he was losing that round because Baranchyk came out strong once again, was putting the attack on him, and right towards, I think that third round drop where Zepeda catches Ivan Baranchyk came late in the round to where he gets up, the round is almost. So I said, whoa, this is going to be crazy. So I'm thinking around 4, Zepeda's going to get Ivan up out of there. I thought Zepeda had him, was going to get him definitely up out of the ring. Going to round 4, opening again, Zepeda drops Ivan down for the 3rd time. I said, man, that was some incredible shit just to think of 4 rounds, but coming into that final round where he ends up getting dropped. I think, wait, did he get dropped or? Yeah, he did get dropped. I think Zepeda got dropped in that 5th round. He ends up hitting the back of that the corner of the column where it catches him. Yeah. And it was a good call by Kenny Bayless to catch that, to score it as a knockdown, being that's what was the only thing that held him on his feet. He catches that, and man, they return back the action, and he catches him with that left hook right up on the button, man, sending that dude to a nightmare. And I know who else had a nightmare. This dude, Tim Bradley, had to be fucking having flashbacks of Provatnikov watching this damn fight. It had to give him a nightmare watching this. But the other thing I didn't like, we probably talk about at the end, is the response to him being knocked out like that. But he was knocked out clean with that damn punch. Salute to Zepeda. I think this is my first time really watching Zepeda, man. That dude has a real calmness about him, man, and I like that.
Yeah, and we can, before we close out, we can go with your comments on that and your thoughts about it, and we can have a conversation about it. But to just get into what you were saying about these knockdowns, it was like when the bell rang to the 1st round, Baranchyk came out at 100 miles an hour, and it looked like Zepeda was going maybe 60 because he was getting hit clean with Baranchyk's lunging and looping, hooking shots. And, with Zepeda being a southpaw, he just wasn't getting his hands up in time to stop those shots. And usually when fighters get hit like that early in the 1st round, you could see either a knockout or a knockdown at least coming, right? Because you could just tell that one guy ain't ready. And I talk about this all the time. He was warming up in the dressing room, hitting the pads. He wasn't shadow boxing. He wasn't sweating. He was cold. Now, he got in there and he got hit. He got woken up. But next thing you know, he was on the canvas. And he was on the canvas a couple of times. I think I counted, and I could be wrong, I think I counted 8 knockdowns here, plus 1 that they didn't count, that Skip Bayless missed. I'm not Skip Bayless. What's his name? The referee, forgive me.
Kenny Bayless.
Kenny Bayless. He missed a knockdown for Zepeda that he scored with Baranchyk when they kind of got turned around and he hit him on the chin, and they, Baranchyk's back was to him and he kind of went down to his knee and his glove touched the canvas. He called that a slip. That was a knockdown. because it was a punch on the chin that put him down on his knee. So he missed that one. So if you're counting that one, we're talking about 9 knockdowns in 5 rounds. Dude, that is incredible. And the funny thing about it is that we have not seen anything like this ever, ever, ever. I haven't in my history of watching boxing and checking in, researching boxing. 9 knockdowns in 5 rounds, bro. 5 rounds. You can get a 15-round fight and still don't get that many damn knockdowns. But it was so action-packed. They were right at that level, and I spoke about this with the Charlos fight from last weekend, that they were at that level that they should be fighting, and they were fighting for the right for number 1 contender. Now, we know Baranchyk had already dropped a fight to Josh Taylor. But in this instance, people were favoring Zepeda in this, but he still had to get beyond this challenge of Baranchyk, who was Zepeda was favored, but not by much, simply because we don't know what was going to transpire until the fight really, really happened. And it was amazing out the gate because you could see the strength of Baranchyk. You could see his punches were being very effective. I think the knockdown that he scored in round 2 against Zepeda, he threw a right hand, but the right hand hit Zepeda on the opposite side of the face, you know, and as he was going down, he had this look like, oh shit, you know. And I'm telling you, this was better than watching a movie. These guys gave it and they gave it and they gave it. The rest of the fights on the night weren't as exciting as this, with the exception maybe of the heavyweights, with the big Italian guy and taking on that Nigerian guy, eBay. That was kind of exciting. But this right here, oh my goodness. Reggie, I saw you hopping off your couch and everything, and you was running around. It was like, well, wait, it ain't over. Round 2, both guys go down. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, that set the tone for what was coming next. And what was coming next was more knockdowns. It's like these guys, they were going at it, man, full force. And it wasn't wild either. It wasn't like it was the kind of thing like somebody was like just winging and throwing a shot. They were fighting. They were jabbing and they were punching and hooking, getting caught in exchanges. And usually at a high level in boxing, you don't get knockouts like that. Usually somebody is worried about protecting, you know, and being safe and stuff like that, and being cautious or whatever, as I should say. These two men, they threw caution into the wind, but not recklessly, but just in an effort of like, I want this. And man, did they deliver the action. Because like I said in your chat, I was not going to do this post-fight show unless there was something special happen. And boy, did it ever. Did it ever. I mean, my goodness. There's not even a fight that I could put in this type of, you know, to say it's from this cloth. It's like, what? Someone earlier in the chat says Foreman and Lyle. That pales in comparison to this, because that was 2 big punchers going at it like that. These were 2 guys fighting for the number 1 contender spot. Junior welterweights, man. Amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff. Reggie, you know how you do the fights where you take a fight and you'll do a review and do a recall of a fight that has happened in history already or whatever? You should do this fight again. You know, even though you did this stream tonight where you covered this fight and you called it, you should do another one, like maybe a couple weeks later or something, just to get a new reaction, because it's like, it's that type of fight. And for anyone that didn't get a chance to see this, you guys have got to tune into this fight. It is a must-see. Fight of the year, easily. knockout of the year easily, and it might be up there with, you could throw it in the loop of a fight of the decade, because it was just that within itself. Two quality fighters going at it. And I'm sorry, I was a little long-winded with what I had to say, but what else you got on it, man? This was so much entertainment. Unbelievable.
Man, that shit was, like I said, I didn't think this fight was going to be like this. I didn't think it was going to be nothing like this. And then to see Ivan go out the gate, I thought it was going to last maybe just a round. And I thought things were going to settle down, and watch them just go at it. Like you said, 9 knockdowns in this fight, because including the knockout. I mean, and 5 fucking rounds. That is crazy. I couldn't imagine what would have happened if this thing went 6 rounds. Like, this shit was insane, like a motherfucking. And like I did, I had to show people on the thing. So if they gave me a strike, I think it was worth the damn strike. Just to let people who could not view it to see what the hell was going on and see why the hell I was running out the damn seat. They came out, and like you said, there was something on the line that these guys were fighting for, and that was an opportunity at the title. And I thought Baranchyk wanted a little bit more because he got a taste of it. I think he's a former champion too. He got there with Kelly. He lost that opportunity, was gone from the sport for a whole year. So who knows how that affected him. But then to come out here and looking like he wanted it. He wanted this thing bad. So did Zepeda. And they displayed it by how many times their asses hit that damn canvas. I mean, it ain't nothing. Anyone who's got a complaint about what they saw inside the ring is a fight, is a clown. I think this shit hunted the hell out of damn Tim Bradley. This is like a Provodnikov to the third power. What was watching up in there. This is a crazy fucking fight right here, man. And the thing that made me so excited is that I didn't think nothing was going to really happen. I was a little disappointed with the fight before it. And then to come into this one as a main event and watch these dudes not play it safe, because we watched that one fight where these dudes was, who was that? Goucher versus Lubin, who had the opportunity of going for an eliminator, and they played it safe. These dudes didn't play it safe. They went in there to knock the other man off the square, get him up out of there, not rely on no faulty judges to put the decision in their hands. And I respect both of these dudes. And if anything, if boxing did like that clown Dana White does, these dudes need a damn bonus for this fight. Excellent fucking fight. Excellent fight.
Yeah, when it came out that these guys were going to fight again, because I was very familiar with them and knowing who they are, it's like, okay, I've seen both of them fight, so styles make fights. I'm looking at it from the aspect of, okay, these guys are going to really go heads up. You know what I'm saying? And as the bell rang for the first round, seeing how Baranchyk came out to send a message, I'm like, okay, this is exactly it. And then to see Zepeda come back and, he got dropped, and he got dropped a couple of times, but it wasn't like he was hurt. It was like he was getting his late wake-up call. And from that point, he was okay. But in the second round, when he dropped Baranchyk, it was like, oh, here we go. And that's when I just, start sipping on my drink a little faster and everything. And I'm listening to you call it. And I'm like, oh, damn. And it's just like, I mean, we don't have to have every fight like this, but you hope to see fights with this type of action at some point during a fight card. Sometimes it's usually the undercard guys, where someone in an undercard fight, it might be a 6-rounder or something like that, where you get to see some real heated exchanges and action like that, but not in a full distance scheduled fight where the men have a chance to work through the rounds. These guys fought like they didn't have a clock. You know what I'm saying? They just was like, when the bell rang, they picked up where they left off. That was an amazing thing to see. You know, and if they had an audience, that audience would have been going crazy. That right there is like the only thing that was missing from a wonderful fight like that you didn't have butts in the seats to see this type of action. But man, did they deliver. I mean, that was amazing. That was amazing. But I must admit, as we talk about this, that it looked like Baranchyk was the worse for wear once he got hurt. And I don't know that if he's chinny or not, but he wasn't the same as Zepeda after being hurt. Zepeda got hurt, it woke him up. He was more technical. He went right behind his technique and he kind of focused in more. But it seemed if anyone was going for broke, it would have been Baranchyk. And I don't know if he knew if his conditioning wouldn't have been there or something like that. But were you able to notice that aspect of the match between the two, Reggie?
Well, you speaking about the conditioning and how hurt they were?
Well, yeah, because I was saying it looked like Baranchyk was more worse for the wear once he got hurt the first time. For Zepeda, it seemed like he was able to draw on, you know, what happened and focus or whatever. But it seemed like Baranchyk kind of like even upped the ante more, like he was worried maybe about his own conditioning or something and he wanted to get through it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So I was just asking, were you able to kind of pick up on that?
Yeah, and I think that was because he was getting hit with those cleaner shots. He was walking into clean shots, getting hit right up on the chin. I think Zepeda's shots were hitting him flush, like really impacting to hurt him. I think the shots he'll hit Zepeda were more impacting shots that knock him down, catch him in a moment of so much force being on him. Because some of them was hitting with his forearms. His forearms are hit on the side of the neck, side of the head, and drop him. I think he hit him clean with one shot that kind of like buzzed and flashed him and sent him down. But his shots were landing so clean, like he was tagging him. Even when he was behind Baranchyk, Zepeda landed square up on the chin, dropping him. So Zepeda's accuracy was much greater than Baranchyk, where Baranchyk was just loading up on punches, and whatever hit had hit. Zepeda's knuckles were square up on the button on Baranchyk. He was just finding money because Baranchyk was making a lot of mistakes, leaving his right hand down, getting caught square with those left hooks. And I think that's where he messed up with. And on top of him moving forward, he'll throw a punch moving forward, falling right into a perfectly timed punch being landed by Zepeda. And I think the impacts and where they hit it definitely rocked the brain, man. And I think that's definitely was the difference in the difference maker and how hurt they were going in this fight. It's just how perfect the punches were landed. And I think Zepeda had the perfect landed punches because he stayed patient, stayed relaxed, and he saw what he was throwing.
Yeah. And I know that like when Jose was fighting, like his match against Jose Carlos Ramirez, you know, he lost a majority decision there, but he showed that he belonged in that class, in that fight. You know, and I marveled at him in the dressing room. I was looking at his face. He's got a lot of scar tissue around those eyebrows, you know, right over him and everything. And I was wondering was that going to get a chance to bust open? But, you know, with his fights like with Jose Pedraza, you know, he showed that he has what it takes to go the distance and stay disciplined. And I marveled at his resolve after being dropped a couple of times early, and then during the midst of the fight as well, that he was able to still keep it together, not panic, not rush. But even Tim Bradley remarked in one of the rounds, I think it might have been the fourth round or the third round. I think it was the third round, where when he got the better of Baranchyk through a series of punches that they were exchanging, when he slipped and he hooked and he slipped and he hooked again and caught him, it was like, you know, that was his experience there, because like Tim Bradley, who commented on it on that particular moment in question, that's muscle memory from an experienced fighter who knows what to do when you slip. Because some guys will slip and they'll go into a defensive mode of slipping, or catch, block, step back, move out of the way, give an angle. No, he was slipping and firing back and slipping and firing back like you're supposed to do, because the best time to hit a guy is when he's trying to hit you. And that's how he was being very successful in the exchanges using his boxing technique. I picked up on that as well, Reggie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was fighting real sharp, man, and that's what I was really impressed with, because you don't find too many fighters that will stick to a boxing plan, especially in a fight like that, a fight being brought to you like that. Zepeda stayed very sharp and real technical, not losing sight of what he needed to do, not going in here trying to slug with the dude. Even being in here, I don't know if Zepeda got a lot of knockouts on his fucking record, but it didn't even look like he was. It didn't even like he was even like putting in that much work to even look like he was going for a knockout. It's his ability to punch. He punches so perfectly that I guess that's probably how he's been finishing guys off. But the way he landed these punches is, I mean, I didn't expect for him to knock out anything going into this fight, but he just perfect accuracy on punches, and that's being the kind of boxer he is. He's a very effective boxer, and now I'm thinking more of it, like, damn, like, how was he scoring this? He wasn't really committing. Well, maybe he hits harder than what it looks like, and maybe he delivers punches better than what it looks like, but he does it so effortless. And I'm like, man, I'm impressed with this kid, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was an amazing match that he put on there. I would like to see him. I would like to see Jose Zepeda in there with Josh Taylor, really, because I think that would be a good fight. He has some boxing skills, but he also has that intestinal fortitude. You know, he has that ability to dig down deep and to fight, but fight behind his technique. You know, when Taylor and Baranchyk fought, Taylor was able to catch Baranchyk in some vulnerable positions as well due to his boxing skills and ability. But there was nothing like what Josh Taylor did, and he beat Baranchyk convincingly, yes, but it was nothing like this tonight. Oh, my goodness. Man, oh, man, oh, man. That was, you know, and Curtis Anderson is there in the chat. He says, sometimes we're blessed with a terrific fight. That's why boxing is the best sport. Man, when it is good, it supersedes a number of sports. I tell you that. Tonight was an example of that, and you would not know it, which is why, one of the reasons why I always stress this, Reggie, about fights with guys who are in a competitive match. You have to tune in, because you could say what you want on paper. Oh, this guy, you know, he's going to beat him. No, you have to have it happen, because there's always points in fights like this when guys are asked questions. And these men asked questions of one another and gave answers and responses to the questions, and then further still came up with a new way of looking at things. And it was right before your very eyes. I mean, if you were sitting there watching this live, you were impressed with everything that transpired, but you were also awestruck. And it's not like it can't happen. It can happen in almost any match, but it's like when they're good and they're competing, they will, and again, the measure of a man. Somebody is going to say, hey, I want this. And Jose Zepeda, he put that performance on tonight. He got dropped. Remember, just seconds before, he was knocked down. He was knocked into the turnbuckle and had gone back, and they called it a knockdown because if the turnbuckle wasn't there to catch him, you know, he would have been on the canvas. So Kenny Bayless correctly gave him a 8 count, and then within like 15 to 20 seconds later, he threw that check hook and then that left hand, boom, and dropped Baranchyk. Oh, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Just great action, just great performances by these two men, and they deserve the respect. They deserve the accolades for delivering such a fantastic and historical fight. I just can't say enough about it, man. This is what you want when you see the sport. This is what you want.
Hell yeah. And Top Rank needs to dig deeper and start putting more of these matches on. Matches like this. Closely matched opponents. Not none of this one-sided showcasing BS. Not even just Top Rank. All these promotions need to stop showcasing fighters. Start putting them in there against opponents who are going to give something back. And also, and especially when they're fighting for eliminators or going for title shots, they need to be more closely matched. And then there were people who don't fold up.
And check this out, Reggie. I'm pausing here because I'm gathering my thoughts. How many clinches do you remember calling in that fight?
Shit, not many. Not many.
If any. These guys were rumbling, man. They were rumbling. And like I said, you could say it was a war and everything like that because of the action that unfolded and everything. But everything was done behind boxing skills. You know, Baranchyk is more of a slugger than he is a boxer. And Jose Zepeda is more of a boxer puncher. So what you were witnessing was action unfold from technique and capability. It wasn't just two guys just in a barn burner just going for broke. It was controlled violence, if that makes any type of sense. It was a display at the highest order of the sport. That can't be overlooked. Because when you remember Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, that was like the war for real, right? They were going at it and one guy was trying to take the other guy's head off and this and that. And for 3 rounds, it was some of the most exciting boxing that you've ever seen. But guess what? These two men who don't have those type of names put on a fight that belongs up there with that fight. That is how good it was. And they went 5 rounds. And they had 9 knockdowns. 9! Dude. Reggie, let's talk about that for a moment. 9 knockdowns, bro. I have to say maybe Zepeda went down the most, didn't he? He went down 4 times. Or no, yeah. Baranchyk went down 5 times because there was one they didn't count, right? Or is that correct?
Yeah, he went down the 4. Wait, 4 times. If you were to count the one that they didn't count, but other than that, he went down 3 times.
So
and Zepeda went down 4.
But it was 8. It was 9. It was 9 with the one you didn't count, but 8. Man, yeah. These guys just to get up, to continue to get up, and you're like, man, I'm down here again. Let me get myself together. The ref is counting. He's looking in their eyes. He didn't have to say, you good? You want to continue? He finished counting and say, okay, resume. Because they were ready. They were showing that they were ready. Man, that is amazing. 9 knockdowns, bro. 9 in 5 rounds. 5 rounds. I wouldn't be surprised if Baranchyk has a ACL problem or something after this, because that knockdown, how his leg twisted under him because of his weight and he was unconscious. But sometimes your body, when you're unconscious like that, your flexibility is limber. It's even more limber than when you're awake. So maybe and hopefully he doesn't have any knee problems or anything out of that. But he was caught in such a manner that his body just fell like a clump. He didn't fall like Mr. Dillian White, when Dillian had rigor mortis, where he was stiff before he went down. Mr. Baranchyk was just, he folded like a table and just went down. It's like it was a different type knockout. But amazing, man. Amazing. Let's go to the chat for a little bit. Let's see what people are saying. I know we had a lot of people in here, and we opened the show up talking, folks. So we didn't mean to, not acknowledge anybody out there tonight. We got Mike 202 was out there early, and Tyrone Smith was out there. Tone Brown, Kenneth Johnson, Derek Bailey, Jeff the producer. He said that Stormy, salute. That Zepeda fight was a hell of a fight. Yes, sir. D. Hodges is out there. He says, what up, Stormy in chat, LDBC, salute family. And Big Homie Coop is out there. He says, salute Stormy B-Man in the chat. Who else we got out there? Chicano Prophet is out there. He says, what's up, everyone? Wow, what a fight. Wasn't it, though? Man, just amazing, right? Andrew Charles is out there, says, salute Stormy B-Man, salute to you. Jeff the producer says, classic fight, man. Derek Bailey says, that fight was like Foreman and Loud. That was who said that. Okay, Derek Bailey. Corner Girl 66 joined us. She says, salute Stormy B-Man and boxing conversations with Reggie Owens and chat. Salute to you, girl. Good to see you. Who else we got? Mark Blake out there. D. Hodges. Iceberg Nerds out there. Says salutations. G Funky Boxing joined us. He says fight of the year and KO of the year. Absolutely. And Philip Carl Roberts says, what a fight. Edge of the seat stuff. Amazing. Amazing stuff, man. Amazing. Andrew Charles says, yeah, I try to be as vague as possible in the comments if I'm ahead. Yeah, you talking about when I was ahead of you in your broadcast, Reggie, and I was just writing damn in the chat because I didn't want to reveal what was happening. I was like, damn, double damn, It's like guys going down every couple of minutes. It's like, man. Chicano Prophet said, yeah, I've always liked Ivan's style. He comes in so aggressive with killer instinct. Yeah, he might be the new Arturo Gatti. He may need to find him a coach and trainer that can help him preserve and protect himself a little better now. We know he can punch and deliver the action, but he needs to be mindful of defense a little bit more because he's a vulnerable guy. Philip Carl Roberts is saluting me. PGH Big Dog is saying salute at Stormy and Reggie in the chat. 92 AKU says, damn, this sounds like a great fight I missed. Yes, sir. If you missed that one, you got to catch that replay. You got to catch it. You are doing yourself a disservice if you do not go back and watch this fight. Jeff the producer is seconding that. He says, yeah, definitely watch the replay. It was a hell of a fight. And Andrew Charles said that Hermosillo weathered the storm the first couple of rounds, then took over as well. I didn't get a chance to see that one because I was tuned in to ESPN. I flipped over to that station before that match started, and I didn't like what I was seeing, and I just went back and I watched the heavyweights that was on on ESPN. So I didn't catch the FS1 main event. We'll skip down a little bit. Chicano Prophet says, right, trading serious leather, but some good boxing. Big Homie Coop says that Hermosillo was robbed with no pistol. Okay. Derek Bailey says, took a minute for Ivan to get up, too. Yeah, he was out, man. He was unconscious. They had to wake him up. Jeff, the producer, says, one of the best fights I've ever seen. Yeah, you're not going to see nothing like that for a long time, Jeff, the producer. Not with no 9 knockdowns, bro. Not with 9 knockdowns. In 5 rounds? No. Chicano Prophet says, yes, such a high-paced fight. Thrill Hill is out there. He says, how do you guys feel he would fare against Regis? Man, I don't think Regis Prograis would be able to get up and down in the elevator fight like that. He may not want to be in a fight like that. Some fighters will shy away from that type of action, and some others, they relish the challenge and they step up. And the reason I say that about Regis is because in order to win that fight over in the UK against Josh Taylor, that's how he was going to have to fight. He was going to have to go for broke because he was on foreign soil, and in order to take the title from the champion over there, you have to go for broke. You have to sell out. You have to lay it all on the line. And he didn't do that. You know, now some people feel like, yeah, maybe if the fight was here in America, that he would have got the decision or, you know, whatever. But guess what? He wasn't in America. He was over there. You had to take care of business over there. You got to come outside of what you normally do and do some extra. That's just like when Earl Spence went over there and fought Kell Brook. If Kell Brook would have somehow made it to a decision, they would rob Earl Spence. You understand? Earl took him out. They left no doubt. These 2 things right here was his judges. And that makes all the difference in the world when you're fighting on foreign soil. Reggie, you have anything to say about that?
No, I don't have anything on that.
Okay. What about, you know, what I was saying, like with Earl? You know, he went over there with Kell Brook. If he didn't stop Kell Brook, if Kell Brook would have somehow ended up going to the distance, they would have had some funny scorecards for him over there.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely it would have happened, man. But that's why I was saying, man, the stuff these athletes have to deal with when it comes to these judges, man, I would be a banned athlete. I'll be banned from boxing because I will attack a judge for robbing me on a scorecard. But yeah, more than likely he went in there and he did what he had to do against Kell Brooks because he's definitely gonna get the bad end of that.
Absolutely, man. Now let's go ahead and get to what you wanted to talk about regarding the lack of direct medical assistance for Ivan Baranchyk in his distress moment.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And it just as much as we entertain and love the sport, man, you always want to ensure the safety. The last time I remember watching a fight like that was Data Sharp. As a matter of fact, I think that was a top-ranked fight as well. And the thing that pissed me off after watching, when I watched the guy, he's getting beat severely, watching when they stopped the fight and not seeing no medical personnel coming over to the ring as far as a stretcher being brought over there, them making this guy walk out the ring after being, and it was just seconds after seconds, you just start to see this rapid decline in his abilities to function. They made him walk out the ring, walk towards the back of this, wherever they were fighting at, walk into the back of this ballroom, quite a distance, walking up a hill, and he collapses when he gets up there. And then at that moment, they slowly pushing over a stretcher to lay him on, and it's where he dies like the following day. The protocol to providing medical care sucks when it comes to some of these events, and these promoters are at fault. And especially with these promoters who cut corners on cutting costs and not thinking it's necessary to have a medical staff there. But the thing that bothers me is The goddamn commissioner of Nevada is in attendance. He's sitting there right there ringside next to Bird. I forgot was the guy's first name, but he's sitting next to Bird at the desk. And it's like when this dude is down on the canvas, he's out for like, the dude is on his back for at least like 5 minutes before they can sit him up. And then when they sit him up, he's still out of it. They sit him on the stool, trying to figure out what the hell to do. They lucky a damn crowd wasn't in there, because the crowd probably would have had more to say. And then watch them walk him out the damn ring. He'll barely stand on his feet. Make him walk all the way down to the back, and then that's when you see a stretcher over there, barely getting a blanket put on it because they just pulled it out of an ambulance. So to me, it just shows like y'all call a paramedic to show up to the building rather than an EMT staff being on site, and that's poor. That's poor operation. That's a poor setup, organization, and everything to an event, knowing that this is a sport where people put their lives on the line. Any one of these guys can die at any moment. Think America's events are fucking ass backwards when it comes to safety of fighters. I see in the UK, which I like, when a fighter gets knocked out, there's immediate fucking oxygen. I think anywhere over in the European areas, they put oxygen on these dudes just in case there's some kind of brain type injury. And this dude looks like some type of brain injury happened. He got knocked out, was closed off, and then his head hits the canvas. And this is just poor shit from Bob Arum. I don't care how they look at it for a great fight. You don't want to see. I don't want to see neither fighter have to sit on the ground and suffer like that. But hopefully this dude is all right. But it's still those matters. Even when a dude recovers from, you don't want to be having to make drastic changes due over the loss of life. And it's kind of because I'll be following like these case studies on business. And you always see matters of safety improvements after some damn tragic ass loss. And this is where people may not see where I'm coming from, but my mind is different than a lot of folks. But a lot of drastic changes come in after you have some catastrophic damn event happen and there's a loss of life. When you go back and look at it, there were so many measures that could have been in place to prevent this shit. So hopefully Top Rank learned from it, but maybe that dude can sue the fuck out of him if something is wrong with him. But that's what my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and you know what, Reggie, you're absolutely right when you say how the UK handles things, because remember the tragic fight between Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan. Gerald McClellan is in really bad shape as a result of that fight that they had, the injuries that he suffered in the fight, and the losses that he has. He's lost his hearing. He's blind. He's pretty much in need of care 24 hours around the clock. But he's alive because of how they handle things over there in the UK. Had that been in America, he probably would have died. So I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's a great talking point, and maybe something that we could even do on a future show where we talk about the lack of immediate medical care for professional fights, in venues such as like what we witnessed tonight, because it wouldn't have cost Bob Arum that much money to have paramedics waiting on site, pay a crew for those that run in the area or whatever for that day's event, because you have a full night of fights where something could take place. If you got an ambulance and paramedics on site in case something happened, it's right there. You could get immediately, and then if something happens later on a further card or whatever, you call 911 to replace that one that just left or whatever. But it's like, I don't know, man. That is definitely a strong talking point that we should have a future topic. It doesn't have to be the whole show, but we can include that in a topic bullet point for a future show, that we should discuss that, because that's a very significant topic to go over. But like I said, the Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan fight that took place in the early 90s, man, that was one of those situations where I believe that had that happened in the U.S., Gerald McClellan wouldn't be with us anymore. But it happened over there, and they've always taken that extra step in care to get immediate medical attention to the fighters. So, and they even do it even more now than they did at that time. But at that time, their response was much faster than what we've ever seen here in the U.S. But if that were to happen today, unquestionably, someone in the chat said, "Why didn't they remove his mouthpiece? He was down there, is clearly unconscious." That's a no-brainer as well. Why wasn't his mouthpiece removed? That's crazy.
Yeah, man, they're right, man. That was bugged out, man. It was like them damn doctors in the ring. It's almost like they know what the hell to do. Like, I mean, that part, to watch a great fight and then to watch a warrior sit on the ground like that and be abandoned like that, man, that shit bugged me, man. You abandoned a warrior. He didn't put on this great performance. Gave a shock to the lifeblood of damn Top Rank with this event, and they do this fool like that. Like, man.
Yeah. Hell, in the NFL, they have that cart, right, where they wheel people off because they get broken limbs and dislocated this and, all types of injuries sustained on the football field. And they do that little wave, hey, bring the cart, It's like the cart is on standby over there. They need to have that in boxing. They really do. Because sometimes a guy can just collapse. It don't even have to be from, taking a shot. He could just, heart might stop, whatever. You want to get immediate attention, and there should be something there already ready to go. And like you said, the fastest thing to do is to put oxygen on somebody, and they left this gentleman's mouthpiece in where I'm sure that restricts the breathing, but it's like they were so slow to even do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. That's like I was saying. They did the same thing with Dadashov. I thought the response when Patrick Day got knocked out when he ended up dying was slow as well. Like, and even the fight, I can't think his name off the top of my head, but he recently won a lawsuit. I think his event happened in New York, where they abandoned him when it came to, he took a pretty severe beating. He complained of injury. I think he sued his promoter. They didn't provide any medical care to this dude. And when he got there, he had all sorts of bleeding on the brain. You ought to see this guy now. He's in one of the worst conditions that a person can be. He's a vegetable now. But all his families had to go into this big lawsuit. I think they took New York for like $16 or $20 million.
Yes, sir. So definitely keep that in mind, Reggie, where we can have that maybe on the chop session. We can keep that, as a great talking point for a upcoming show. So we will do that. And we can also list the examples of how we've witnessed it being done correctly and used tonight as an example, as well as a few other, if we have them available, to as an example of when it hasn't been done correctly. So that's a great talking point right there. Very, very important for the sport. So, but yeah, man, this was great, man. I mean, did you ever think that it could be that exciting? 9 knockdowns in 5 rounds. Oh my goodness. Oh, I like to go and run that back right away. Watch it again before I go to sleep. So, yeah. But go ahead and give us your final thoughts there, Reggie, and let us know whatever else is coming up for you.
Yeah, man, another unexpected event turning out into a classic, man. Like I said, the same thing with Povetkin versus Dillian White. Didn't last with the final hour decide, like, let me order this in case something happened, instead of just viewing this as an old man going in here to lay down. And that turned into one of the most brilliant knockouts seen in a long time. Then coming into this thing, being one of the, like I said, man, one of the best fights I ever seen in the history of me watching fights was Tim Bradley versus Provodnikov. Now Tim Bradley's been in Tim Bradley was in attendance at a moment where people can't come to the fight, but who's in attendance? Tim Bradley in a fight that has now replaced his fight versus Provodnikov is one of the most exciting fights I've seen. This fight was exciting as shit.
Yes, sir.
But man, what a great night, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I mean, that you know what, and we can go away with a smile on that because it was very entertaining, but also it puts you ready to see what's next, right? It's like you're thinking in your mind, okay, what fight we got on the horizon next, and what is it gonna be like? So it's like you get all geeked up, you know. Of course, it ain't gonna be 9 knockdowns in 5 rounds, but what the hell? We'll take a couple, right? Man, but what a night, man. What a ending for this evening. And don't forget, there's some matches tomorrow as well. So, you know, there's a fight card tomorrow, and you have to check that out. I forget exactly who it is that's putting it on. I don't know if that's not the zone, is it? Are you aware of the fight card that's tomorrow night?
Yeah, let me check for you right now. Give me 1 second. I'm on ESPN. It's the zone. Yeah, John Batasi versus Marco Calix or something like that.
Yeah. So that's a card that's on tomorrow evening. Got a special Sunday night card on the DAZN. So those of you out there who have DAZN, you can look forward to that. And I will be taking a peek because you just don't know. And like I said, I don't intend to do a post fight on it. But if something exciting like tonight happens, me and Reggie will be right here talking about it. So just, you know, keep your posts, you know, on what's happening, and we'll let you guys know about it. So yeah, man. But hey, man, thanks for your great call on tonight's show, and for your contributions for this evening, man. This was another great one, man. Glad to do these post fights too, because it gives us a chance to extend our excitement, you know, when we talk about these matches, you know. So hey, we'll keep, if they keep delivering, we'll keep on bringing them. So, but yeah, do you have anything else coming up on your channel? Any streams, special streams you're gonna be doing or anything?
No, I'm gonna start getting back to my old fights, but being, you know, I'm very political as hell. So being that the year has rounded close to these elections, I kind of shifted towards this political stuff. But I haven't discontinued doing them old fight reviews. I'm definitely going back to doing that.
Yeah, that's a good thing when you do those fights, because it helps with the current audience who haven't had a chance to go back, you know, and you're bringing their knowledge up to speed when you do those shows. That's why I've always endorsed you doing it, because it helps, especially when you make people aware that, you know, the sport, it's not dead at all, but there are some things, if you haven't had a chance to partake, there's plenty of excitement for the sport of boxing. So, but yeah, man, thanks for.
Let me say this before you close. Also, when people are getting these interviews with these old fighters, they don't have to be your superstars. Any of these dudes who got in here and battle, put in great work, have great stories, please tune in and respect that shit. Even the documentaries that people are putting together to give you the history and the in-depth research they put into figuring things out. Like, there's multiple layers that go into the sport, man, and just hearing these stories, man, have been great stories, man, from the triumphs to the failures to kind of the rises and falls, man. These is all part of the aspects of boxing, which is the same aspects we see in life. Like, it's dope, man. It's dopeness to me, man. But I just wanted to put that in there before we close.
Okay, and one more thing. salute to D-Lo 404 Boxing. He's out there and he's asking, Reggie, are you calling the fights tomorrow night?
Yeah, the zone ones, yeah, I'm going to definitely hop on there. But hopefully I got to get my kids out because they get tired when I be on here watching boxing all day. But I'm definitely going to call it. But yes, indeed.
Okay. And did you have a time on that?
No, because I got to figure out the time that they start for us. I think they usually start about 2 p.m. my time on the West Coast. So it's probably, 4 Central, 5 Eastern.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, that's what it's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us this evening. It's been a great evening of boxing once again, and we had an exciting fight tonight that if you haven't had a chance to check it out, if you have ESPN Plus, you go back and check this fight out. It was a barn burner, a Donnybrook, a Pierce Sixer. It was all of that and then some, with the most punctual ending. So hey, for my man, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, this is Stormybman. We're going to say goodnight to everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace to everybody. Check those fights out tomorrow. And we out of here. Peace.